Blue Chapter 345 just dropped and we are in the final minutes of the Japan vs France match. Isagi is finally trying to do something meaningful and Blue is launching their last counter-attack. But before we get into it, leave a like and subscribe for more Blue content every single week. So, the chapter starts right where the last one ended, with Isagi facing Hugo. Hugo immediately notices something different. Isagi's expression has changed. He's insanely focused. Hugo is surprised that Isagi even managed to intercept the ball in the first place. He starts analyzing the situation, wondering if Isagi predicted that their attack would fail and intentionally went for the second ball. Then he breaks it down even further. Isagi is too far to shoot. So what is he going to do? And then he says, "Bring it, Isagi. Which destiny will you choose?" At the same time, we see that Otoya and Shido are heavily marked, cutting off some of Isagi's options. And then Isagi makes a completely unexpected move. He passes the ball to Karasu. Instead of opposing him, he chooses to cooperate. Even Karasu is surprised. Everyone on the field is shocked. Some players even start wondering if Isagi is trying to join Karasu's system. And just like that, they start linking up. Quick passes and clean movement. They go past Hugo and Charles. Then we see Rin's reaction. He is clearly frustrated, jealous even, and that's when he activates his destroyer mode. We are now in added time, only 2 minutes left. This could be Blue Lock's final attack. From the bench, Bachira and Chigiri are hyping up the team. On the field, Karasu pushes forward through the midfield. Then Hugo speaks to Isagi once again. He says he's been waiting for a moment like this. Once again, he tries to push Isagi towards his philosophy, becoming the perfect second best for the team. He asks Isagi if he finally understands why he tried to guide him and Japan toward their true suitability. Hugo's dream is clear. He wants to win the World Cup 4 times, and for that, France need strong rivals. They need the rest of the world to follow their destined roles. Then Hugo fully locks in, almost like a machine, and says, "You passed, Japan. Now let's reach our true ending." Blue continues their attack. Karasu passes to Hiori, Hiori to Isagi, Isagi to Otoya, Otoya back to Karasu, Karasu to Isagi, and back to Karasu again. They completely take control of the field. Karasu dribbles past another defender and Hiori realizes something important. Blue has reached another level just because Isagi chose to cooperate with Karasu. Then Karasu passes to Hiori, and now we have very familiar situation. Hiori is in almost the exact same position as when he scored earlier, but this time it's even better. He has more options, more angles, more possibilities, but that becomes the problem. He hesitates, and in that single moment, everything collapses. Hugo moves to cover Barrow, Charles locks down Shido, and Loki rushes straight at Hiori. Loki says it clearly, "You're nothing but uncoordinated, egoistical rabble. If we stop your individual plays, you're finished." Then we switch to Hiori's perspective. He realizes that with players like Loki, Hugo and Charles, one split-second decision is enough for them to completely shut everything down. He's overwhelmed, he can't shoot, he can't pass, he waited too long, and now he's trapped. Loki appears right in front of him saying game over. But then we see it, a foot surrounded by puzzle pieces, and of course, it's Isagi. He appears out of nowhere and calls for the pass. But then we see Hugo's eye, and it looks like he was ready for this all along. And that's where the chapter ends. Honestly, this chapter wasn't as strong as the previous ones. It's more of a setup chapter, but what it sets up is huge. This is most likely the final play of the match. Look finally started playing like a real team and it actually worked, but the timing is brutal. This is their last chance. If Isagi fails here, the match is over. And honestly, I want Japan to lose. A draw here would feel weak from a writing standpoint. There are still players like Nagi, Sai, and maybe even Kira who could join later. Look hasn't reached its full potential yet, so losing here makes more sense. If they somehow draw, it will probably be through Rin. Maybe Isagi passes to him and he finishes. Otherwise, I see this ending 3-2 for France, but let me know what you think. Will Block pull it off, or is this the end? There's a break next week, so we'll have to wait for the conclusion of this match a little bit. Leave a like, subscribe, and see you on the next one.